Hello and welcome to 2015. If you're like half the population of the United States, or one of many people around the world, you probably have a few things on your mind that you would like to improve about yourself throughout the year. And that would be in the form of a New Year's resolution. And I'm here to give you a couple of tips in regards to some of the more popular resolutions in hopes that this year, you accomplish the things that you may have rolled over from year to year. Because, not surprisingly, there are a few resolutions that seem to appear on many people's lists every year. The most popular of which is weight loss. And unfortunately, many people start out the year raring to go. And if you're a member of a gym, you know that's true because all of a sudden it is insanely busy at all times. But people start going, and sometimes as soon as January 15th, which is National Ditch Your Resolution Day, the resolutions are gone and you lose motivation. Hopefully it lasts longer than that, but often that happens and people get memberships and they're ready and they lose momentum because, well, like most people, you lose momentum because you don't see results fast enough. And especially here in the United States, we're a show me now type of population and we don't want to wait for anything. So that can be frustrating depending on where you are on your body level. So one really good tip about getting your weight on a track that you want to get to is drinking water. It's so simple and everyone knows it, but it's hard to do, especially when soda can cost less than water, depending on the bottle you get and where you're getting it from. And so, and also it can be more accessible than water in some places. So there's plenty of ways to kind of incorporate it. Most of the time, if you're feeling hungry, you're actually thirsty. And your brain just can't necessarily differentiate between the two, and you think you're hungry. But if you have a sip of water, that will help. And this is coming from someone who is not a water drinker at all. What I like to do is when I go out to eat, particularly, instead of ordering soda or tea, what I will try to do is get water and order water with lemon. Now, I don't like the taste of water by itself, which is one of my resolutions, is to get more acquainted with water. But what I like to do is I'll take a sweetener. I usually pick Splenda, and I pour the sweetener in there and I squeeze the lemon so it's like a more refreshing version of lemonade. It's not as watered down, sugared up and everything. So it's quite nice. I've always enjoyed it, but it's a good way to get your water intake. Also, if you have a water bottle near you, just have it sitting there all day and just periodically just sip on it just when you see it. Don't force yourself if you're not used to it. It takes time to work your way into it, but once you get into the habit of drinking it, you'll be more comfortable doing so and you'll really enjoy it. And there's also plenty of liquid and powder mixes you can put into your water to help you get more acclimated to the lifestyle of drinking water. In addition to that, one thing, particularly if you have a sedentary job, is to get up and move around during the day. For whatever reason, getting up and staying moved will help you increase your energy levels and give you just that little bit of movement that you need in order to kind of get through the rest of the day, especially if you are going to be sitting down the rest of the day. So those are some weight loss assistance that you could, perhaps put into play. Another really popular New Year's resolution has to do with your credit. Establishing credit, building credit, helping your finances. One way, if you're trying to build credit, is if you can qualify for a credit card, perhaps from Capital One, where it's the building credit type, and usually it's like a $49 deposit. But what it does is it gives you the opportunity to have just a small amount of credit and prove yourself worthy with it by perhaps paying your cell phone bill or your water bill every month with that card. And when you pay that off, then you go, when you pay the bill, then you go and you pay off the card. And the best thing to do when you have a card is to keep the balance zero if possible. If not, pay just a tad over the minimum balance. The more you do that, the more it will help improve your credit, particularly over the course of time, as you're proven responsible with that money. And of course, the Capital One card that I mentioned, you can put deposits to get a higher limit, and you can build your limit and build the amount of things that you spend on it, and that will only help. And an easy one that everyone knows but not everyone thinks about is paying your bills on time. If you're able to pay your bills on time, you may even have a problem remembering when things are due or whatnot. If you can just set the automatic pay, it takes care of it, and it looks good that you have this revolving accounts that are paid and not overdue. Particularly if you try to rent a car and you use a debit card, they'll ask sometimes for bills that are show that there's no carryover balance. So a lot of places look to see if not only you have things that you're paying on, but that they are paid off, and that there's not these lingering funds out there. So to help your credit. Another really good way, a really popular resolution rather, is to stop smoking, which is another health-related resolution. So it shows that we're trying to be better physically. We're trying to make ourselves live longer, hopefully, and happier with better credit. But smoking is one of those things, like weight loss. It's really hard to kick once you're in it and it's become a part of your life. But if you are a smoker, it's important to find a good incentive, or if someone you love is a smoker, to find something that they really care about, because everyone cares about their health, but not everyone can interpret that and face it as a long-term health dilemma. I can smoke now for this amount of time, and then at some point I'll stop. You have to find something, a really good incentive to stop. Otherwise, there's nothing pulling you to stop. Whether it be so you have more energy to play with your kids, whether it be you have more energy to go on a run so you can lose weight, whatever the thing is, find that and focus on it and write it wherever you go to smoke, or whenever you wake up, and if that's when you want it, put a note there and to remind yourself. Little reminders are very helpful too. So those are some of the most popular resolutions for the years, and a few ways to help with those. So I'd like to hear from you. What are some of your New Year's resolutions? And if you don't have any resolutions, do you have any tips on how to help people with their resolutions? Because if you don't have any, then either you're not interested in it or you're pretty satisfied with yourself, and you could use that happiness and that satisfaction to help someone else feel the same way. So feel free to leave me your tips in the comments below, and I look forward to responding to all of them. Thank you, and have a wonderful 2015.